At 35% body fat, I was stuck. More workouts, cleaner eating, but my belly literally wouldn't move. Then I made 3 simple shifts that felt too easy to work, but in 90 days, I was at 20% body fat, just above actually, about 21. I trained a little bit less, I ate more of the right foods, and life was actually simpler. If you're sitting at 30 to 40% body fat and tired of the grind, this video is for you. I'm gonna show you the 3 changes, starting with the one that held me back the longest. Okay, so this point is about lifting. So this is the importance of your lifts. So this is gonna be sets or really just any programming type stuff, exercise selection, reps, whatever. This is gonna be rest between sets and in between workouts. And this is going to be effort. I find that a lot of people, and myself included, are focused very much on the aspects of the workout that actually make it a workout. And don't get me wrong, it's important, it's a piece of the pie. Something that is often neglected is rest. So it'll end up looking more like this, where, you know, that slice is small and the set slice is much bigger. Actually, the set slice would be more like all of this. And then the effort slice, that's what's left right here. This has gotten kind of messy, but the point here is that we want the effort piece to be the biggest piece. It is by far the most important. Whether you're resting, 30 seconds or a minute between sets, or you're hitting, arms 3 times a week or chest 3 times a week or 2 times a week or whatever, those details don't matter nearly as much as the effort that you are putting in. And that is getting close to failure and working really hard. It's being safe, making sure there's no pain, you're controlling the weight, but we're gonna talk about effort. So training close to failure ends up usually looking something like the last 2 or 3 reps looking very slow. The bar speed slows down. So as you're lifting the weight, the last couple reps, they're a real grind in order to get that weight up to its final destination. I am gonna talk a little bit about programming here. And so my favorite is a push-pull split. And that's where the working out less that I talked about in the intro actually comes in. So you could do push-pull legs. That is a totally viable thing. And remember, that's just not that big of a piece of the pie chart. So don't worry about it a whole lot. But doing a push-pull split allowed me to work out Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday and Friday. Wednesday could just be cardio or recovery day or whatever. Same thing with Saturday and Sunday. And for whatever reason, working out less really promoted quality workouts on the days I was actually working out and allowed me to get to failure or to get really close to failure much more frequently because I wasn't so exhausted. And whenever you're doing that, you don't have like a leg day that it's hard to push hard on every single set because it's just so exhausting, you start to build muscle. And whenever you build muscle, the calories used to build that muscle are gonna come from your body fat if you're at maintenance or even in a little bit of a deficit. So you start kind of losing body fat because you're in a deficit, plus you're losing body fat because more calories are gonna be needed, putting you in a bigger deficit in order to build that muscle. Now this is all if you are relatively new to lifting. If you've been doing it for a long time, then this effect won't happen as much. But if you are new to lifting, you're in luck because this phenomenon, if you're working out hard enough, is this recomping phenomenon is something that totally happens really fast. Another thing I want to mention about programming is that something that I learned throughout my time of doing this is that sticking to the same workout as long as possible was much smarter than switching it up frequently. Back whenever I was in college for exercise science, about 12 years ago at this point, the whole thing was switching it up, shocking the body. That was what everyone was talking about. But I think what has served, and this shows in the literature, it's not just my opinion, what has served us a lot better is getting better and pushing more into the same workout. So let's say that you have 2 different variations of push workouts and you have a chest press on one day and a chest fly on the other day. That's mine. It's a dumbbell bench press and a chest fly on Thursdays. So let's take the chest fly. I've gotten a lot stronger at that chest fly when normally I would have bailed out on that and went to another exercise. I think, now this was, a year ago, but I started like this intense exercise style, and that's what really changed for me. I started that with, I think like 80 pounds on the chest fly at my gym, which, different gyms are different, so it doesn't really matter. But now I'm well past 135. I mean, by well past, I mean 140, 145 is what I'm like working on right now. And that wouldn't have happened if I would have switched it up. So that extra tension that the muscle is feeling is causing extra growth because I gave it time and I stuck with the same exercise. As long as it doesn't start hurting the joints, There are some things I've had to take out because it just started wearing on my joints. So as long as you're not in pain and you like the exercise and you're not dreading your workouts, there's no reason to switch everything up, wholesale. You can switch up one or two in order to freshen it up, but keep your big exercises as long as you can. If you do not already have my Craving Survival Map, this thing is totally free and it walks you through something that you might be feeling other than actual hunger, that if you complete the checklist, you are no longer going to be having that craving, helps you keep you on your diet, and therefore lose the belly fat. So get that down below in the comments, in the description. So lifting is so important, but we all know that the diet is king. So this next shift was key in what led me to making such a change over 90 days. So I'm gonna talk about your diet as a budget, like a money budget. Rent, utilities, and car payment, they come out first. That is your calories, your protein, and eating whole foods. Those are the big things that matter. Your fun money, the stuff left at the end, those are like your treats in your diet. So it's where you can sprinkle in some things that maybe don't fit into a healthy diet necessarily, but it's something that keeps you on your goals. And those are important as well. It's not just deviating from your plan, it's making it a part of the plan so you can keep going. So this point really is about healthy, not always being helpful. So think avocados, nuts and nut butters, things that are extremely healthy that if eaten in too high of quantities mean your calories are too high. The big important part of your budget is, too big. And so no matter what, you nitpick with the small things in your budget, you're still going to be over budget. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with avocados and things that are high fat that are healthy. Don't get me wrong, they're very heart healthy. The base of your budget, we're talking about calories and protein being, the big things of your budget, is going to be high protein, delicious, high volume recipes, things that take up room in your stomach and keep you full for a long time. Plus, the protein is going to help build muscle. That muscle is going to burn calories. Those calories are going to come from body fat. Ultimately, this is the best way for you to lose weight, is a high protein diet. Now, yes, fruits and vegetables, very important, okay? But I really think when it comes to weight loss, those are actually secondary. Now I shouldn't have put them in tiers like that. They go hand in hand. High protein with fruits and vegetables is by far the best option. Second part of this is eating those treats, those small, the fun money part of your budget, and making those a part of your plan. I brought that up a little bit earlier. And so what exactly do I mean by that? Pre-log it. Go into your food log and log a Hershey's Kiss or whatever it is that you're gonna eat. And I know you might be thinking one Hershey's Kiss, get real. You really will get to the point where you can have a treat like that. But still, if you have a donut that's 300 calories, put it in your food log. It's carbs like anything else, okay? If we have it too often, it might be hard to stick to your diet or to your calorie deficit. But that doesn't mean that one day or even 2 days or a weekend or whatever can't be something that you plan in. Even if you have to go a little bit above your calories for that day, remember you were always in a calorie deficit. So if you log in something and you end up going 200, 300 calories over, you're still probably in a deficit. That might not show on the scale the next day because a treat tends to hold water a little bit more than other things, fried food especially, things like that. But it doesn't matter. Make it a part of your plan and move on. Next is the easy cardio that you are skipping. Miss this and you're gonna be working twice as hard. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this one on my toddler's whiteboard again. Okay, so these are zones of cardio. This is zone 1, this is zone 3, and this is zone 4 and 5. I'm just gonna combine them. Some do 4, some do 5. It doesn't matter. You might have thought I skipped 2, but if you're in zone 2, you're in the green. So this is where we want to be. Basically, you can think about it like, how do I know if I'm in zone 2? And I'm gonna talk to you about the benefits in just a second. But if you can chat, if you can talk, and it's not uncomfortable, you're probably in zone 2. If you're breathing a little bit, but you can still talk. Now you might be thinking, why would I be working twice as hard if zone 2 is easier cardio? Because zone 5 is the hardest. Zone 1 is like just existing, basically, just a leisurely stroll. So how is zone 2 gonna be, making me not work twice as hard? So when zone 2 is used, sure, the cardio itself is easier and is gonna be burning less calories, but it doesn't make you nearly as hungry. So you have to work twice as hard everywhere else whenever you focus too much on high intensity interval training, zone 4 and 5, and even a little bit of zone 3. I work a lot in zone 3 because I just really enjoy it. But zone 2 is the sweet spot where you don't get nearly as hungry. You get a lot more reward than the negative of getting hungrier. It also allows you to recover between your lifts. We talked about how important it is that your muscle stays in your body and gets built in order to lose body fat long term. So you don't have to keep eating less and less and less and to eventually lose all the weight. Your muscle supports that. That's basically your metabolism. And zone 2 allows you the resources to build that muscle. You don't feel exhausted going into the next day because you haven't depleted yourself with zone 4 or 5 cardio. And I think that zone 2 is actually enjoyable. You have the capacity to focus on something else. For me, it might be watching a game. I used to do a walking pad, a little bit inclined. I would just like set it on yoga blocks to incline it. But you could do a walking pad or a treadmill watching a game. You could listen to a podcast, read a book. I gave this tip in one of my other videos, but whenever starting my journey years ago, got all the Harry Potter books on audio and listened to them all, but I could only listen to them if I was walking. So it really increased my cardio and my steps. One of the main benefits of this is that it's repeatable. You're not gonna dread it, and therefore you're gonna stick with it, and therefore you're gonna succeed. If you want walking to be the main form of your fat loss, it is possible. It will scorch body fat. I made this video to enhance your walking and allow you to burn body fat faster. So watch that next.